Well, here we go. Markets are down. Is the cycle over? The talks have started again. What does August have in store for us? We have the winner of the July 31st stroke of midnight prediction for Bitcoin. Well, who won the pair of Jordans? We're going to talk about that. Also, why are the markets bleeding? Well, two reasons. One, nuclear war scare. Number two, the jobs report was an absolute disaster. Or I should say the revisions were an absolute disaster. The markets are red across the board. Are we going to see a bounce soon? We're going to talk about JP Morgan Chase. We're going to talk about Coinbase. And we're going to talk about what our predictions are for the month of August. Will we place another bet? I don't know. Maybe. We're also doing a giveaway today. With that being said, let's jump in. Let's go.
Hola! It's your boy, Big Rob, back in the house. Welcome to Sin City Crypto, home of the entertainment-focused cryptocurrency content where we take old, boring, stale information, repackage that thing up in a fun, sexy way. You know what? What's more important than the price of Bitcoin going up or down? Not much, but nuclear war perhaps is. Sometimes. But what would you rather have? A nuke go off or Bitcoin go to $1 million?
Oh, for what? That's
Or no, Bitcoin go to $10,000. Yeah.
You know what?
Doom and gloom.
I'll take the nuclear war, man. You know. Is it a dumb question show today?
Yeah.
Okay. Great. We're happy to be here. You know, we want to start the show off with an exciting news. Sin City Crypto just surpassed 97,000 subscribers. The road. Can we get a round of applause, Gina? Jesus Christ. No round of applause. Wow. Is this another setup here? Anyways, 97,000 subscribers. We are 3K away from 100,000. Big thank you to all of you who have been watching our content and subscribing to the channel. We love it. Appreciate you. We'll do a big party. We'll do something big when we hit 100K. So join us. If you're not subscribed, make sure to subscribe. So markets are down. Why? Let's talk about it. Posted by Maine, the Maine wonk. A weak jobs report. The U.S. economy added only 73,000 jobs in July. That is way below expectations. Look at this number. May and June were revised down by 250,000 jobs. Unemployment rate ticks up to 4.2%. Rob, I don't have this pulled up, but I'll pull it up right now. The CME has exploded for next FOMC meeting, Robin. 82.8% believe now the Fed will cut 25 basis points on September 17th. You think this is enough? Unemployment starts going up. Inflation is still down to 1.7% if you look at Trueflation.
That's the next meeting?
This is for the next meeting. 82% believe that we're going to get a 25 basis point rate cut.
CME ain't wrong.
Here's the thing, though.
Ever.
We're still 2 months. We're still about a month and a half out, right?
Yeah.
You think if, you know, this, because this is a pretty bad report, okay? You think it's enough for them to come out and have an emergency meeting before September 17th? Because, you know, 47 days is a good chunk of time. We'll have another jobs report. We'll have CPI numbers come out. If the next job report and the unemployment rate has ticked up again, I mean, I don't know. What's your gauge? What's your thoughts on this? Does this mean the Fed has to cut now in the next meeting?
I don't think they have to do anything.
Is this enough to move the needle?
Because I feel like they should have cut this time around. And I think that the positioning between Jerome Powell and Donald Trump, obviously, they've had some...
I heard they're best friends.
Yeah, they don't like each other. Donald Trump is insisting that they cut rates, or that Jerome Powell cuts rates, mudslinging, calling names. Jerome Powell's come out and says, hey, I don't take orders from the president. It is what it is. And I think he stood on his not cutting rates in spite of it. So could we find ourselves in another situation where Jerome Powell and the Fed chairs simply say, hey, we are not going to move rates? And they could use a host of reasons. They labeled the tariffs before as a reason. Like, hey, we're expecting inflation per the tariffs. Basically, shots at Donald Trump. And that's why we're not cutting rates. He's been out there and said it. So we could find ourselves in another situation, right? Where Jerome Powell gets up to the podium and says, we're not cutting rates because of this or that or whatever it is. Now, I do think CME isn't wrong generally. CME does flip, though. So currently, the CME might say or forecast a rate cut. But in the past, we've seen that number is very fluid and can move, and we could find ourselves maybe a week out looking at the probabilities saying that we are stuck.
Fluid, moving. Fluids are moving everywhere.
You're like crushed ice, bro. There's no fluid motion in your moves, bro.
What does that have to do with crushed ice?
Because it's not fluid.
Well, all ice is not fluid.
Exactly.
But why crushed ice specifically?
Because you have some motion. My man on the dance floor, he looks like
You've never seen me on the dance floor.
Yeah.
I get down, bro. Give me a couple of shots. Give me a couple of whistle pig old fashions. I bust down. Tatiana, I want to see you buzz down. Speed it up. Anyways, a lot of people are saying, why headphones? You'll find out next week. A lot of big things happening here at Sin City Crypto and Sin City Podcasts. And so you'll have to wait and see next week why we're wearing headphones. But shout out to Raul and a few people that noticed these. Anyways, Rob, take a look at this.
Yo.
All we're missing is the video of Donald Trump in front of the podium, in front of this picture here, saying, we're going to win so much. You're going to be tired of winning. You're going to say, no, Mr. President, we don't want to win. Okay, the market is deeply red after revisions to non-farm paid jobs, showing the largest drop since COVID, Robin. The largest drop since April of 2020. 1 month after the pandemic started, essentially on March 18th or so. Everything is down. NVIDIA, Microsoft, Amazon. You know, MicroStrategy absolutely crushed their earnings forecast. And the stock, I believe, is down. Let's take a peek here, actually, at MSTR. Go here, MSTR. Down 7%. Now, Rob, forecast came in at minus 7 cents earnings per share. Actual came in at $30+ Rob, that doesn't happen. They're not off by 30x usually. This should have been a huge pump and rally in MicroStrategy stock. But with what happened with the payroll, and we'll get over to that in a second, the other thing that is causing the markets to dive, it is down 7%. So, Rob, are you looking at this as a buying opportunity, seeing the massive beat on the earnings per share and seeing that this thing, the price isn't necessarily following, I don't know if you could say the news or the narrative, but
if you don't think the bear market is here.
Wait, what?
Okay, let's just say from a perspective of saying, your question was, is it a good time to buy MicroStrategy?
Yes. My
answer is, if the bear market is not here, then the answer is 100% yes. MicroStrategy has outperformed Bitcoin. It has outperformed damn near every alt. It's outperformed all the stocks, all the major stocks.
It's outperformed the sun and the solar galaxy too.
Yeah. So the thing is it's a high leverage play compared to Bitcoin. You get all the upside of Bitcoin multiplied.
Yeah.
You also get the downside.
I was going to say multiplied, but I think also the downside is multiplied as well.
My point exactly.
Yeah.
Then if you don't believe that we're in a bear market, then the answer to your question is yes, a resounding yes. And not to mention, you're getting paid out just for playing the game. And so for every share you own, you just got paid out. It's like staking on Bitcoin.
What? Staking on Bitcoin?
Yeah.
There's no staking.
I know. That's my point. Is that if there was staking on Bitcoin, you would buy Bitcoin, you would hold it, and then you get paid out, right?
Hell yeah.
What happens when you buy MicroStrategy stock?
You hold it, you get paid out.
and you outperform Bitcoin.
Mind blown.
It's like a cheat code for a bull market. I mean, we talk about Michael Saylor all the time, and it's usually in regards to, hey, wait, they bought again. Hey, he's trying to use. But when you think about it from a company's perspective, there's so much upside from every direction. It's retarded. I mean, honestly, you're outperforming the price of Bitcoin. You're earning dividend on the back end quarterly, and you're all doing it in the stock market. So there's no fear of losing your keys. You can pass the stock on to your kids. You can make it part of your portfolio. Like, it's essentially a cheat code to investing if you're on the right side of the bull market. That's the only caveat here, is that you got to be on the right side of the bull market. If 6 months from now we're at an $80,000 Bitcoin, not suggesting that. I don't even want to go down that rabbit hole right now. I don't believe that's going to happen, but you never know. We got nuclear subs moving around the world. Here's the thing. You do get the downside risk, but if you feel confident that you're not going to go down, we're going to get closer to that $200,000 Bitcoin, you would be foolish not to have MicroStrategy.
Everything okay with you today? I offered you Starbucks in the morning. You said no. You never say no. You refuse to go down the rabbit hole. I've never known you to be a man to refuse to go down any hole. And so I just want to make sure my boy's doing okay today.
Good, bro.
Okay. Let's give a shout out to Ashley. Do you remember when we used to do like the weekly predictions and she would always win?
Do we still have the animation thing that we ran yesterday?
By the way, that was cool. Previously on Sin City Crypto.
Yeah.
Wait, which one?
The one yesterday that we had for...
the one you showed.
Oh, the little video I made.
Yeah, the little video you trapped me with. Yeah, that one.
Oh.
I still haven't forgotten, by the way.
Do you want me to play it again?
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
Previously on Sin City Crypto.
So the bet is end of the month?
Yeah.
Okay.
On the midnight, the stroke of midnight on August 1st.
Okay. Robin, you go first.
Whoever is closest by the end of the month, I will go $119,990.
119,990. That's Rob. Okay, let's jot that down. Ash,
You go next.
no, she
You go
goes.
next.
How is
co-host one?
115. Hey, 115.
Thank you, Ash. She can speak for herself. Thank you.
Dear
very
Lord.
much. 109,650. End of July. I think we
sideways consolidation for a whole month.
No, we peak. We go down. End of the month, I think we end at 109,650. Write it down. We got them. New pair of Jordans, up to $200.
I was so close, man. You know, I had it in the bag.
She was $63 off. Look at this.
And then I was here. I was there at that.
You were close.
The whole month, man. Pretty much. I had won this thing.
Okay, it doesn't
all
count.
the way.
It doesn't count if
up
you're right.
until the stroke of midnight. I was robbed.
I thought I had a chance yesterday around 5 o'clock. It dipped down to 114. I was like, oh shit. But take a look at this. Inside the highlight area, this candle is your midnight candle on Friday, August 1st. Close 115,063. Ashley, congratulations. We'll get you your Jordans. You don't get to pick.
She says she doesn't wear Jordans.
Well, she's going to have to. Or she can not. Maybe she won't wear them. Maybe she'll just put them somewhere and look at them. That'll be up to her.
Frame them? Who frames Jordans?
I've been to your house. There's a lot of interesting things framed in your house, Rob.
That's a new decor for the lobby.
For the studio lobby? Oh, I saw that. All the charges. I'm like, what is he buying at World Market for $600 or $150?
That's the table thingy. But now I got something else.
Okay.
Yeah.
Should I call our accountant?
Yeah.
All right. I'll talk to myself after the show. And
there you go.
Oh, God damn it. I just can't. Can we go a month? Can we go a damn month without spending every dime in our?
It also requires skill. It is not a piece of decor without utility. And I have more skill than you in every physical domain. So
Every physical domain, huh? Okay. All right. Take a look at this. Liquidations. BTC, 24 hours, $826 million. $826 million. Well, we know one reason why the markets went down. We showed you. It was the jobs numbers. Well, reason number two, Donald Trump is on social media again. Well, he never left, but hey. Based on the highly provocative statements of former president of Russia, Dmitry Medvedev, who is now the deputy chairman of the Security Council of the Russian Federation, I have ordered two nuclear submarines to be positioned in the appropriate regions, just in case these foolish and inflammatory statements are more than just that. Words are very important and can often lead to unintended consequences. I hope this will not be one of those instances. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Well, and then Bitcoin dumped. What is going on? What are you showing?
Mr. President, it's too much. And I'll say, no, it isn't. We have to keep winning. We have to win more.
You hear anything?
It's going to the show.
It is?
We didn't hear it in the headphones, but yeah.
What was it, though? We're tired of winning?
Yeah.
So tired
We're
of it,
going to
man.
win so much, you
There we
may
go.
even get tired of winning. And you'll say, please, please.
Yeah.
You're a little late on that, but yeah. Okay, so let's take a look at what are you? Isn't he a Yankees fan? Anyways, take a look at this Bitcoin on the daily chart, Rob. Okay, very similar. Okay, now we have essentially two things, both bearish. One, two. Let's go ahead and draw this out. Number one, M pattern. Okay, bearish, double top. Number two, twice now we've broken out. Retest hasn't hold. We came all the way back down, gotten down to around 114.5, came up, broke, retest, failed, came all the way back down. Now we're trading at, well, 114.5. So, Rob, what the hell is going on? What is your thoughts on the Bitcoin price action? You think this spill-off has anything to do with the news? And do you think this could be something that gets dragged out, I don't know, more than 2 weeks? Between the jobs reports, between not having a Fed meeting until September 17th, the submarines, nuclear war. I mean, what are your thoughts here, Rob? And then we'll get into what August has typically been. Go ahead.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see us go back down to 100,000. I know that's kind of far away from where we're at now, a little spooky. But I think 100,000 is extremely, extremely large, strong support. I mean, you would agree. Anything under 100K is outside of the likelihood.
I don't think we get. Yeah,
I don't see it. However, I do see if this continues. Let's just say, things escalate. I don't want to talk about like nuclear. I know what came in with nuclear war. I don't think that's a real.
I don't either.
Yeah,
but.
yeah. I think this is just positioning.
Yeah.
It's typical politics crap. But you never know. You could get an escalation between Russia and perhaps Ukraine. You throw some major tariffs, and we've heard about India getting increased tariffs if they were to trade or do business with Russia. And so we find ourselves in a situation where, hey, we could go further down. The market could dump some more. If that happens, then we're looking at maybe $100,000 Bitcoin, 105, 108, 107, 103. I think it's possible. We're in an interesting spot right now. We're in a bullish uptrend. You do get natural pullbacks in the bull market, and you kind of scare people. You make people think the bull market's over. It's typical protocol. So I don't know, man. I'm 50-50 on the direction of the market right now.
Really? Okay, so what's your worst case scenario goes down? Okay, first of all, okay, real
Worst
quick.
case scenario, I just said it was between 103 and like 107.
Okay, sorry, 103 to 107. Also, the theme of the show is the cycle over. I don't think the cycle's over.
No.
Okay, it's just, well, one, obviously you want to shock people to click your video. We don't think that, but there's a lot of talk about it, right? Much like there's always talk when we see a pullback, the market's over, the cycle's over. The cycle's not over. At least that's what I think. 103 to 107, Rob, I think you hit it right on the head. Take a look at this chart here. I've added the volume profile, okay? And I'll be honest, guys, chances are if 114.5 doesn't hold, we're probably going sub 110K. I mean, take a look at this, Rob. You take a look at it on the right-hand side, my friend. Take a look at this large gap of volume here. There is nothing here, right? Nothing here. This is our dead zone. Now, we do have two large volume nodes. One is around 108.3, okay, which is where Bitcoin consolidated for about a week. Below that is where Rob's lower bound is, 103. Again, large volume node. So we can say between 103 and 108. Now, if we break under 100 and stay there for more than 2 to 3 days, I'd be a little more concerned. I don't see that happening. I think this is just short-term volatility. I could be wrong. You do have a massive, massive volume node down at 96.5. And so there's a long way to go. There's a lot of room still left to break down if we do. And the structure essentially over, on a larger frame picture remains the same. And that is up and to the right. If we zoom out to the weekly. There we go. As this thing loads on the weekly, you see that spike around 105 and then again at $96,000. But again, this is, I mean, if you take a look at just historically, not historically, but this cycle at least, okay? And again, Lifer called it on our show during the Bitcoin conference, right? On the weekly, move, flag, move, flag, move, flag, move, flag. And guess what? Move, flag. Now, this flag could end up being, this could turn into a weekly head and shoulders pattern. I don't know if that's going to happen. That would mean that, right, we've already put in our initial shoulder. This would be our head. And if we come up, if we don't reclaim and we don't close above 120, then yes, this would be a setup for a head and shoulders pattern with a break to the downside. Or we could see what we saw with HBAR, where it got invalidated and this right shoulder created a higher high than the head of the pattern, or the potential pattern, I should say. And so that's kind of my thing. We take a look at August historically. So this is an article here, Rob, from Crypto News. August 2025 crypto outlook. Bitcoin's next target, 140K. I want to ask you, Rob, what comes first, 100K or 140K? What comes first?
140K or what was it? The second
100K.
100K.
I know it's a little skewed towards the downside more as far as the amount it has to go down.
I think when they wrote this was probably yesterday, right?
This was 27 minutes ago.
I got updated 27 minutes ago.
Yeah. Well, they could have updated the title. What's your gut telling?
I don't think we go down to 100K. I don't think we hit it. I think for downside pressure, I would assume if we keep selling off 107, it would be where I think it is. And then I think if things really get wonky and go sideways, I could see a scenario where we candle down, briefly liquidate down to 103. I just don't see us going under 103. So to answer this question, I do think 140 hits first. However, if you consider 103 or like 102.5 or something like that, if you consider that 100K for this thought experiment, then I think that happens first.
Okay. Scott Watson said 109, then 140.
Yeah, that's kind of my theory here. I think 109. Yes, I think maybe a brief small window. We're down to 107, maybe a little lower. Wouldn't be surprised if the markets go down to 103. But yeah, I think that's exactly spot on.
Also, Gambi787 is singing Justin Bieber in the chat. Never say never. All right, let's move on. Well, speaking of August, Rob, take a look at historically how Bitcoin has performed during the month of August. Going back to 2022, minus 13.8%. 2023, minus 11.29%. And 2024, minus 8.6%. Historically, August has been fairly bearish. Median return over the course of 12 years has been minus 7.49%. Average return has been plus 1.5%. That is not the most bearish month, though, when it comes to average. That title belongs to the month of September. Rob, we've seen a lot of inverse of what we typically see in months versus, this year versus what we've seen historically. So if we look at 2021, April, May, June were negative. This year, April, May, June were all positive, right? And this is during a bull market. Now we see August in the red, which kind of fits what the narrative is. But historically, September is also very red, and then October, November, you see an absolute explosion. Any thoughts on this here breakdown of Bitcoin returns by month? And do you expect to see the average of August here, which is just a measly 1.5% gain, or maybe the median, we actually lose around 7.5% in the month of August?
On one hand, I put less weight on the historical cycles because I think that now the historical cycles of Bitcoin, the upside has been brought to you by retail. However, now retail is not here. So you don't get the novice buyer, the scared hands coming in, FOMO buying, selling at random times because the market pulled back 5, 10, 20%. If institutions here, they're buying and acquiring for the long term. MicroStrategy is not selling. MetaPlanet is not selling. Who else we got? Marathon, not selling.
Riot, not
Riot,
selling.
not
Genius,
selling.
not selling.
So the United States, not selling.
Maybe. Just kidding, they're not selling.
Yeah, not from this point forward.
Yeah.
Maybe they did prior. The administration didn't, or just haven't been made aware of it. But you're not going to get the same downside as you've had before. Also, the upside's different. So we're in a different cycle. However, you can't ignore it. You can't ignore the cycles. Because retail does play a part in it. Outside of the U.S., the retail is here, right? The retail in the United States hasn't come in and started buying. However, Asian markets are frothy, man. Investors globally are jumping in. So I don't know, man. I'm on the fence, dude. I'm on the fence. I don't know what direction we go. I don't know if we get 3 or 4 green months in a row as we have historically. I don't know if we sell off. Yeah.
I had a joke, but too late.
Yeah, go.
Rob, let's take a look at the markets. We know where Bitcoin's at, 114 and dropping.
It's dropping fast, man.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead. Let's take it over, my friend.
Yeah, so, Bitcoin off from 117. That's where we were at yesterday when we started this show. 117,000, currently at 114.2. This is the lowest point it's been since. Been a while, man. Lowest point since the beginning of last month. So August 10th was the last time we were down in this price range, erasing gains that we've made in the last 3 weeks. I don't know, man. I don't know how. I have a suspicion this thing's going down to 110, man.
Yeah.
Hey, what do you think?
Yeah. My stop loss will probably be triggered on Bitcoin trade.
I think it's going down to 110. Maybe not like 110 flat, but I could see 111.2. I think something we'll see in the next 48 hours. My guess. Nothing's up. Nothing. Then you got a lot down. Hyperliquid down 11%. Injective. Curve. Jupiter. Render. A lot of solid projects here down 10%. If you're looking to get in, it's a good time.
Virtuals are $1.20.
We were talking about this yesterday.
My portfolio.
Likelihood of virtuals breaking out to that $4 range, test all-time highs, I think is in the cards the next 90 days. That's my perspective. I got a good beat on virtuals in its price movement. I think that this will not drop under $1. So if virtuals doesn't drop under $1, think about it this way. Virtuals doesn't drop under $1. You can pick it up at $1.20. Maybe the market keeps selling off, as I mentioned. Maybe you pick it up at $1.12 or $1.15, 108. Either way, when you look at it from an entry position, I think anything under $1.50, when you have an expectation of it getting to $3, $4, $5, $6, great entry point. And maybe this pullback short-lived. You know, maybe we're rebound tomorrow, the day after. You don't know, but I like virtuals right now, man.
So out of this top, let's go back to that. Let's go back to that chart. Out of the top 10 biggest losers, Rob, which
virtuals by a mile?
Okay, give me your top 3. So virtuals number one that you're buying the dip on.
Virtuals out of the top 10.
Okay.
I'm not. You could.
Give me 2 more. Give me. 2 more.
I think Curve is very.
Yeah, I agree.
Very interesting play right now. I mean, you look at its all-time chart. This is a mismatch from its ICO or current listing, excuse me. And you've seen it as high as $5, right? This was in 2022, mind you, when
at the beginning. This is before FTX went down. FTX collapsed in November of 22. So
yeah. So
I mean, that's an ugly chart. That is an absolutely ugly chart. But I like this pick because it's
look at the 1 year though. I mean, you look at the 1 year. Is that $1.25 back in December? We just came off of $1.03 or $1.10. Very, very promising stable coin pick here. If you are in a camp where you think the U.S. going all in on stable coins, that's like the most vocal thing that the U.S. has had.
Oh yeah,
it's
the only bill that's passed is around stablecoin.
Well, yeah, the bill as well. And then you think about it in this perspective, they've been hush hush about the Bitcoin reserve, but they've been very vocal about stablecoins. And they've talked about propping up the dollar with the stablecoin. And so this is probably one of the strongest plays that are in that have downstream effects of the U.S. having an integral part of stablecoins and putting value into that ecosystem, banks as well. So Curve could perform very well. Outside of that, I mean, maybe Jupiter. Jupiter would be my third favorite. I'm punting on Render, punting on Hyperliquid.
That's how
I'm not saying I don't like them. I'm just saying that if I'm just not interested in picking those up right now. I think the AI narrative in crypto outside of virtuals, it's not appealing to me at the moment. Going down the list though, like if you go down to what's down the most on the 7-day though, you have BitTensor here down 15%. I know that's something you're pretty bullish on. Your memes are getting punched in the face. Bonk.
Punch to the face.
Fart. Floki. All down.
Wait, bonk and then fart? Or fart and then bonk?
No.
Yeah. Okay, we're going to play a game. But before we play a game, I want to play another game. It's a thank you game. This is where we thank our channel partner, Stake.us, the #1 social gaming casino in the entire world. As you can see here, the beautiful fields of the computer, they look really, really good. We just want to give Stake a massive shout out. I'll be doing a special live stream here soon for stake.us. And so if you don't have an account, make sure to create one. Use the link in the description. And so, Rob, I'm just going to go down the list here. Okay, we're going to play a game. So real quick, to answer my own question, the dip I'm buying, and we can go ahead and pull this up. The dip that I'm buying out of the top three, number one is Hyperliquid, because I messed up the first time. I'm not going to mess up again. Number two is Curve. And number three, is Pancake Swap. And the reason I did not list virtuals is not because I'm not bullish on it. I just have a crap load of virtuals. I'm good with the allocation exposure I have. I don't have any exposure to Pancake Swap, so I want to buy the dip. I have minimal exposure to Hyperliquid. I want to add to that bag. And I have a decent exposure on Curve, but not to where I want it to be. So that would be my top three. Now, going through the market cap list, Rob, ETH at 35.58. Is this enough of a dip to buy for you? Yes or no?
I mean, it just depends. If you have...
For you.
I still think ETH is going to outperform Bitcoin. And if your time horizon is in and out by the end of the year, I think ETH is a winner.
Okay. So the answer is yes. You are buying the dip at 3,500.
But now here's the thing. I just don't believe in ETH in 2026, right? And maybe my timing's off. Maybe it peaks in February. I'm not sure. But my thesis is that there is going to be a small window that ETH outperforms Bitcoin. When I say small window, I'm talking about on the larger time horizon, right? When we're talking about a year, around a year and more and beyond.
Okay.
And so I can't say the same about other alts, man. There's other alts that I feel pretty bullish on, even if we're in the latter half of 2026. Just ETH's not it.
Okay. What about XRP at sub $3? Is this a dip you're buying?
I like this. See, compared to ETH, I think that XRP is going to have a rally a little bit later. And so...
Here you go, compared with ETH. Week, month. Since...
Well, like, I mean, like, ETH versus Bitcoin, XRP versus Bitcoin. I think that what you're going to see is a large amount of, or a large XRP rally later this year.
XRP's
and I don't think it gives it up, man. Okay, let me ask you a question.
Okay, look at this. So real quick.
If ETH gets to $10,000 and it starts to pull back, where does it come back down to?
And 10,000 is its peak? Like it's a cycle high?
Yeah.
Ideally not lower than 4K?
Okay, now let me ask you a question. Roughly the same percentages. XRP gets up to $10. Where does that pull back to?
Ideally not less than $3?
Really?
Yeah.
XRP has held price pretty well.
I know.
And so my thesis is different. I think that spot on what you said. If ETH gets up to 10K, I think it pulls back down to 4. If XRP pulls up to $10, I think it pulls back to 8.
What?
Yeah.
You think the bear market pullback's only 20% for XRP?
I think so. I know it might not mathematically make sense, but from a historical standpoint, it missed a lot of the gains. Let's go to all time here. I'm going to get this logarithmic out of here. Okay. So I believe that this 2021 cycle, it should have been at $3. However, the SEC lawsuit for Ripple and the SEC suppressed the price. So we never realized, XRP was never realized its gains, right? And now we're making up those gains. So I don't think the downside is dramatic. This was something that was number 2 on the market cap list briefly in 2017. And I would argue with you which one has more use case and utility currently. Is it XRP or ETH?
Use case and utility currently?
Who? Yeah, but not by that much, right?
I mean, it's not like Head and Shoulders, but
It's. I think they have a slight. There's more retail using ETH, but I think that potentially there's more institutions, more government agencies to a certain regard that are using XRP versus Ethereum. And so there's more retail, there's more people participating in DeFi through ETH 100%. But I think that what we're going to see, especially on the back end of this year, early next year, is that XRP is going to outperform ETH on its adoption. I think that banks are going to start using Ripple XRP. I think that companies are going to start using Ripple XRP. I think that it's going to explode in use case and partnerships in RWAs in their stablecoin narrative. And so because it's going to have a large integration into our financial system, I don't think it pulls back in the same way that ETH does. ETH is heavily retail dependent, user dependent. And if that's the case, then ETH pulls back, XRP doesn't. And it's mismatched on price because of 2017. I think had it not been the SEC, we would have saw a $10 XRP last bull market cycle. I think it would have peaked at $10 and it pulled back down to $5, $2. And then from here, basically the value is mixed matched.
Bitcoin is straight tanking, bro.
113.
Yeah. This is Market Cipher B on the 1 hour. I mean, money flow is just took a shit. VWAP, I mean, yeah, everything. This probably is going to extend further down. That's the 1 hour. We did get a blood diamond on the 4 hour. This is a few candles ago, though. I mean, these blood diamonds, guys, they're pretty fucking spot on, man. They're pretty spot on. I mean, look at this candle, right? You enter the next candle on the open, 2.7%. 113.7330. That's where Bitcoin's currently sitting at. Let's take a look at the 5 minutes, see if we're seeing any potential of a rebound. Just completely deviated from its band, which should we should see that it revert back. This is the Bollinger Bands on the 5 minute. Again, trading below. It's about a $20 discrepancy between the lower band and where price currently is trading. You can zoom out to maybe the 15 minute, and you can see these deviations. They're quick to bounce back. Here, quick to bounce back. And you can see a little bit 113.850 for BTC, but rising volume on the pullback. And so just keep in mind, I'm probably going to get stopped out on my long that I had a limit order set at 114.4, but that's okay. That's why we have stop limits.
You know, Chainlink is down a lot more than the rest of the major cryptos.
Yeah,
you go down the list here.
Sergey and team selling.
So ETH down 5, BNB 5, Solana 5, but you have outside of the Hyperliquid here in the top 25.
Right there,
the biggest, the one that's down the most is Chainlink. Uniswap would be the next one that's down over 6%. So Chainlink's taking a shellacking. Also down 8% on the week. What do you think about Chainlink? There was a couple mentions in the White House press report or briefing in regards to crypto. Seems like a no-brainer for the long-term altcoin play.
It's a long-term play, guys. Link is a long-term play. I think I was a little overzealous on my bullishness on Link. I mean, I'm still bullish on it, but you know, more of a longer term.
It was at $28.
Yeah.
Basically, it's half off from where it was in December.
In January.
Yeah,
January 21st, $27, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, you're seeing a lot of these, Rob, and you know, we got 2 videos coming your way today. We got an HBAR video and a Cardano video. You're seeing a lot of this on the daily. You're seeing the M pattern on the dailies. On the weeklies, you're seeing your W patterns, which, I mean, it's like across the board. Daily, double top, bearish. Weekly, double bottom, bullish. Pullback, hopefully find some support. Let's see where the gold pocket here lays or comes in for link. Gold pocket 1414 to 1450 on this move up, and this is taking the move in its entirety. For a wick of $10.80 to a wick high of $20.30. And again, that gold pocket retrace would put you at $14.14 to $14.45. And so, but again, the daily, so we could see further downside. And, you know, if we don't hold support at 14.16 or 14.14, I mean, the 786 is sitting at sub $13. Now, that's if we see, you know, like a 7 to 10% reduction in overall altcoin market cap. That remains to be seen, but still higher time frame weekly. The W looks fairly bullish. I just want to go just historically and see if we find any. Okay, so here's a perfect example. Rob, take a look at this, okay? This is link going back to 2019, okay? You see the W pattern, Rob? Explosion and then a fat retrace. And then what happens after the fat retrace? I mean, just moonshots, right? And we can actually measure this move. 900%. Looks awfully familiar to where we are now, right? Big spill off, W pattern. We see a big pullback, and then what? Another 10x? A 10x from $12? Like, I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm saying that's what happened just 6 years ago, right? And so W pattern, the last leg, you see a deep pullback, and then it's a spring shot. I think we're seeing that across the board. Maybe that is the base case of what we see in the market cycle. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, I think Chainlink's undervalued. And
for this cycle, or for
for this cycle, it has not exploded. Now I looked at we looked at the price on the year, right? We went from $11 up to 29. So you got about a 3x from October to January. So 2 to 3 months, you got this massive accumulation in price, which then we sold back down to right around the same area, right? You know, right around 11, 12 bucks. I think that when you look at other projects, like other prominent U.S. accepted cryptos, they have not done that, right? Look at XRP. This is something the U.S. has its eyes on. Donald Trump, Brad Garlinghouse. This went from 50 cents to $3. And it never really pulled back that much, right? And then you look at...
That's right, man.
You look over here at Stellar, similar thing on the 1 year, right? And so you're seeing this interest from the U.S. propping up certain projects. And you had XRP and Stellar as those projects that have performed very well. I see similar interest out of Chainlink. It hasn't launched yet. But I do think it's going to make up those gains, and so that's why I'm looking at Chainlink, and I think this should be a $40 price right now. This should be about 40 bucks. I think it should have rallied up to about 50 and then pulled back down to like $40, $35. However, it didn't take off. Maybe it has something to do with the foundation, the tokenomics, sell pressure, perhaps. I know there is different token dynamics behind Chainlink versus XRP and Stellar. But I still think there's a mismatch on price, especially when you got the U.S.-based narrative going all in on Chainlink. I've heard more about Chainlink from the U.S. than I have any other crypto project.
Well, I mean, it's very simple use case. We connect blockchains. Private to public, public to public, private to private.
And they even or power.
Yeah.
They power the blockchains and then
it's a very clear cut. You can wrap your head around even if you're a novice use case. Do want to give a big thank you to our other channel partner, CAM's Blue Wire Technology. If you want to learn how CAMs can scale or help your business maximize networking, IT, and cybersecurity, visit bluewiretech.com or click the link in the description of this video. That'll do it for the show today, my friends. Watch out for the 2 videos we're dropping today, Cardano and HBAR. The Cardano one's very interesting. The U.S. buying or going to be buying just 2 altcoins, one including Cardano. I'll kind of break that down in that video. And then, of course, HBAR. Shout out to all the HBARbarians. Take you into the weekend. 2 fresh videos here from Sin City Crypto. Thank you to everyone for supporting the channel. There's a bunch of links in the description if you want to continue to support the channel. One thing I will say before we send this thing off into the weekend is this is not the first pullback and it won't be the last pullback. Just remember how you felt with the last big pullback and then how you felt when prices started going up. That's what's going to happen again. So don't get scared out of the market. Don't sell into fear, right? I forget the saying I had. It's this, you know, like when you're scared, don't do anything. Sit on the sidelines, turn your phone off, go out, get some ice cream. Yogurtland's doing a special, 2 toppings for the price of 1. All jokes aside, guys, just don't. My recommendation to you is don't get spooked out of the market. You will regret it. You'll regret it. With that being said, Gina, roll the outro. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Appreciate every single one of you on behalf of all of us here at Sin City Crypto. Big shout out to Gina and Antoine running the boards back there. We love you guys. Have a great weekend. Peace.
Sin City Crypto. Everybody know we here for entertainment and info. Gonna show you how to get that big dough. So every day stay tapped in for big facts, no capping. With Bitcoin, if you're in, then you win. We divide the pie with no fraction. It's Big Rob, David. I split the game, but they gave it. Name the coin that's your favorite. I got dry powder, why save it? To the OGs, new beginners. Special shout out to the well members. Buy the dip, sell winners. Ain't really nothing you can tell sinners. Tune in for the latest new flavors. They gonna teach us mean coins. They polarizing like barbecue chicken pizzas. I laugh with a major grin. Laggers, we trade them in. Baddies, they came to sin. And sinners gon' play to win. Screaming, hola, till my bags are flowing over. Hold ya to